Welcome to Uncontained episode 154. I'm your host, Aaron Static Render, and on the show today, my guest comes via recommendation from a past guest of mine, Antonio CT. And whenever I get a recommendation from a past guest, typically, it's gonna be a good show. And this one holds true to that statement. I talked to Ragnhild Bjoerge. Yeah, she's a Norwegian actress slash stunt woman who moved to Hollywood to chase her dreams, but currently is back in Norway and working on a play based on the movie The Last King right now. And I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I will slaughter that. But we talk about what it's like being a stunt person from Norway, and also being in a position where you have to promote yourself in Norway because there's the law of Jenta, which is a Norwegian law that says basically nobody is better than anybody and nobody should try to rise above everybody else. So we get into talking about that and many other things, including a new obsession of hers of falling through glass. So yeah, it's going to be badass. So plug in your earbuds. This is how Ragnhild Bjoerge lives uncontained. How are you doing today, Ragnhild?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. How are you, Aaron?
I'm doing great. I'm glad.
Perfect.
I'm glad we were able to make the technology work on this.
I know. Not
But
my strong suit.
you need technology like this because you're in Norway right now, and I'm over here in California. So,
True.
yeah, it'd be one heck of a long distance phone call.
Oh, I would like to pay that bill.
Yeah, no, forget that. So, we'll just jump right off the top. I got introduced to you by a past guest of mine, Antonio CT, and so let's just get started. How do you know Antonio?
Yeah. How do I know Antonio? Well, we met at school actually. He was studying filmmaking and I was studying acting, and then we took stunt classes together. Somehow he was doing that too. So, and that's how we met. And then we worked on a few films together. And after that, we've been partners in crime and a lot of action stuff. So he's fun to work with.
Very cool, very cool. So, what films have you worked with Antonio on?
Well, we have done a few short films together. That one of them went to Cannes Film Festival, and other festivals too. And then we have done a web series called Angry Girls,
Okay.
with another girl as well. So it's more like slapstick and two women or girls who end up in like weird situation and start fighting over things. Yeah, but a lot of other stuff too. We've done some live shows together as well, so he's pretty practical.
Like live stunt shows or?
Yes, stunt show. We did May the 4th Fest last year for Star Wars fans in LA. It was at
Very
the Riverside. So yeah, he was playing a Jedi and I was Kylo Ren. So
Oh
we had
yeah.
a live lightsaber battle.
So how
So
intense is the battle at say May the 4th?
it's very intense and it's so cool because it's like 2,000 people coming to see it, and they love Star Wars, like, so they just bring up the energy and then we get more energy and it's crazy. It's so cool.
Very cool. Did like I know with like say Star Wars or even Star Trek people or anywhere there's like comic books where there's a huge like fan following, did you feel a pressure to like uphold that character and represent them in a way where like the fans wouldn't be like, that's not what Kylo Ren would do?
Absolutely. I was studying that character, especially because I'm a woman and I was playing a man, so I really had to step up my game. But it was very challenging, but so much fun. And I think I got a few good things in there because the crowd was very excited when I was on the stage. So that was very relieving.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
That has to be pretty awesome. So where is May the 4th stunt show held?
It's at the Riverside Live Theater at the Riverside County, and they have it every year at May 4th.
And May the 4th be with you.
Exactly.
One of those great invented holidays.
Absolutely. Love it.
So, all right, you're from Norway. You've moved to LA. Now you're
Yes.
back in Norway. So, what is it that got
Yes.
you into acting growing up in Norway? What is it that made you like, I want to be an actor and a stunt woman? Or did
Mm.
one of those come first and the other just kind of become born out of what you were doing?
Yeah, I think it started with acting because when I went to school, elementary school, we were only 30 people in my whole school. And we went to see plays. We put on plays for the National Independence Day and every Christmas. And then my mom put me in some musical for kids. And yeah, so it kind of started with the acting, but I was also doing karate and horseback riding and skiing because everybody has to ski in Norway. That's a must.
Is it mainly
So
like
I guess
cross-country
I just
skiing in Norway, or is it downhill
yeah,
skiing? Because you think
both actually.
both? Okay.
Both. Yeah, both is very popular. So I learned to fall very early. So I think through the acting, and then I was always interested in action films, and I'm such a big fan of Jackie Chan, and growing up, I was just watching his films, and I was like, this is so cool. I wish I could do that, and somehow after high school, I was thinking like, why not? And then it just started. I was looking for acting schools or stunt schools, and then I ended up in LA because they had this school where they offered stunt classes, and I was like, this is it. I need to go there.
You're like,
So
I already know how to
yeah,
fall. Let's just hop on the
yeah,
plane and go learn how to act and, fall professionally.
exactly. Why not get paid for it if you're gonna fall anyway?
Exactly, exactly.
Right?
That's the American way
Yeah,
of thinking.
exactly. Yeah, I learned.
All right, so you get to America, you start taking the acting classes, the stunt classes, and
Hmm.
like, when did you realize, hey, I'm good at this? Let's go ahead and take it and try to make something of it.
I think I realized it because I had such a great teachers, Jack Huang and Yoshi Taniguchi. They are teachers at Stunts in Motion, and they just encouraged me so much, and they were so patient. I guess it was just fun all the time. When you have fun, you become better faster, I think. So it was just love with first sight or something with with the stunts.
Okay, all right, cool.
So
Yeah, and that makes sense. When you have fun with something, you learn it a little bit
right,
faster.
exactly.
So did you find stunts more fun than the actual acting?
Yeah, actually, at some point I did because um, it's more physical. And when I moved to LA, I still have an accent, but it was way worse back then. So I thought it was a little bit hard to act well because the language was like it wasn't good enough, I thought. But when I was doing stunts, it was just the body language or like motions, so it was easier somehow.
Okay, all
So
right.
yeah, I think that's a good explanation for that.
Yeah, yeah. Like falling is an international language where like
Mhm.
everybody knows what a fall is. It doesn't matter if you speak English,
Exactly.
Gaelic, Norwegian, or even like German or anything like that. You all know what falling
Hmm.
is.
Perfect.
Now,
Yeah, exactly.
with all of these shows out now, though, like with like Game of Thrones or even
Mm.
Vikings or something like that, have you like done any work on any of them? Like with a lot of them have like English or Norwegian or like people of
Mm.
Viking heritage.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually. Yeah, no, I wish because it's so cool. But now they just finished filming the Viking seasons. But I've been working on more. live shows and films actually. But it would be a dream, to be in one of those shows. It's so much action. It's crazy. It's like being a kid in a candy store.
There you go. There you go. So,
Yeah. What was that?
were you gonna say something else? I didn't mean to cut you off if you
No,
were.
no, no. Keep going. No, I was
Okay.
just
All right.
thinking about it.
Just dreaming about being a
Dreaming.
Viking.
Little daydream. Yeah.
Yeah, why not, right? Everybody should. Now, you are in Norway right now.
Mhm.
What are you working
Yeah.
on in Norway?
I'm working on a play. It's based on the film on Netflix called The Last King. And if people haven't seen it, they should. It's so cool. It's about how Norway was gathered under one king during the Viking Ages. And then this king was just a baby at this time. So this is the story of how the good guys saved this baby so he can grow up to be the king
Okay.
to rule Norway as as a one country. And in the film, the actor from Game of Thrones, Kristoffer Hivju, he is one of the lead characters, actually. So, but yeah, so this play is it's in the mountains where they shot the film. So they're using the actual houses that was in the film on the
Okay.
stage,
Very
and
cool.
then and then they're using the horses as well that was in the film because the Vikings were riding a lot. So they are also here, and so it's all outside in the snow, and we have had everything from like 30 degrees to like 15 degrees.
Now, is
And
this Celsius or is this Fahrenheit?
no, Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Fahrenheit. No, it
Because
would be
30
very
degrees
hot if that
Celsius
was
is like 80 degrees or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
quite
right.
know that. But
So it's pretty cold, and yeah, but it's so cool. And the reason why I'm doing it is because last year I saw it and I thought it was the coolest thing I have ever seen. Because
Right
the effect they were doing and people were on fire and it was crazy, and I was just this is what I want to do. This is so cool. And then I was so lucky to be able to be a part of it this year. So it's very fun.
very cool, very cool. And like, I can't help but thinking about this, like what you were saying, you're out there, like, I don't know, sword fighting in like freezing
Mhm.
weather, like 30 degrees, 15 degrees. I'm originally from like the Midwest here in the US, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
recently it was like -50 with wind chill. So like what I'm asking is, like, with you out there sword fighting in the snow, you get back to LA,
Mhm.
it's a 60-degree day. What do you think about that one person wearing a winter jacket?
I don't know. I actually like winter. It's so fresh, and when you're moving around, it's okay. But when it's really cold, I do miss the palm trees a little bit. I do miss that.
I hear that. The one thing I don't miss about the Midwest is walking outside in the winter and having my nostrils freeze.
Mhm.
That it's a whole different kind of party. Once it hits that weather, it's like, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, it's cold out.
Yes, it is. It's just cold. It doesn't. You don't want to look at the temperature even.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, so it's okay. You freeze a little bit, and then they feed you, so it's okay.
Are you just working for food right now? Is that all you're doing?
No, 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 it's not that. But I just get happy because we get hot food and then you get warm again, so it's okay afterwards.
What is, like, speaking of food, what is Norwegian food like?
Oh, yeah, what is it? It's like going to IKEA to have dinner, pretty much.
Okay. So you get like the Swedish meatballs or Norwegian meatballs?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Okay.
But no, we have a lot of like international food too. Of course, pizza, hamburger, taco, whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's the region anymore.
Exactly. There's food from everywhere, but you mentioned a taco. How does a taco in Norway differ from a taco in Los Angeles?
Well, I think every Mexican is going to be so upset now because we eat the hard shell tacos with the lettuce and corn and beef and vegetables in it, and the sauce, and that's pretty much it. We don't put rice or beans or anything taco-ish in it, so it's all
Okay.
wrong. But it's very tasty.
We were talking just a little bit earlier, rough segue here, but we're just jumping in. You are currently writing a script, correct?
Yes, I am actually. That's my
So
first script.
what is it? Is it like a gentle romance or like
No, not really. Well, I am writing an action drama.
Okay.
With the it's going to be a lot of female cast actually, because I really would love to see more female action on the screen, and it's getting much better these days. But when I'm writing it, sometimes I hear like, well, that's a male character kind of thing, and I'm like, why? It can be a woman. She can be mean too, right? It's almost worse if there's a mean woman, because then you don't know what to do. They're so vicious.
So people are telling you that's a man's role, or
Yeah, sometimes they're like thinking like, oh, but that sounds like that should be a man playing that character. I'm like, no, well, it could be, but why not a woman? Let's try something different.
yeah, let women be evil too.
Exactly, right?
Do you want to play?
We have
Do
it
you
in
want
us
to?
somewhere.
Do you want to play the evil, the villain role, or do you want to play the hero role in it?
Well, I actually would love to play the villain role, but I did write it for me, so I'm gonna be the good guy this time, I think.
Okay.
But my next plan is villain, because I think it's a lot of fun to be evil. Because I'm so happy usually, you gotta, suffer a little bit in life too.
Exactly. And I've heard from other actors that the key to playing a good villain is have some part of that character where you feel like you can justify being evil through the mind of the villain, like where you think
Yeah,
you're actually
exactly.
doing the right thing. So it's like, no, I gotta eliminate all these people so we can prosper, but it's for the good of humanity that everybody else must die.
Exactly.
It's just one of those things that stuck with me here, and so I was like, that makes a lot of sense if you think back to a lot of like the Bond villains, or even
Yeah. The King's Man. Did you see that one?
yes, that was a really good movie. I didn't know what to
It's
think of it
fun.
going into it, but I was like,
Right.
okay, yeah, this is actually cool. All right, I dig it. Even saw the
Exactly.
sequel.
Yes. So fun. But yeah, so I'm thinking like action, of course, because I love to do stunts, so then I can just put in whatever stunt I want to do. So hopefully it's going to be really good. I'm very excited about it.
Very cool. So, with the action movies coming out recently, like say Wonder Woman, and coming up Captain Marvel, which is a female character for Marvel, is that inspiring you to write it all, or is that like helping inspire to get this story out, or were you starting this before those movies even came out?
A little bit before, but I was inspired anyway. Especially Wonder Woman was such a great film, and it was so fun to see that they could make her such a strong personality. And I don't know, I just really liked how she was playing. Oh, I forgot her name. I feel so bad. But that one,
Gal Gadot.
yeah. How she was portraying Wonder Woman, because I thought it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
So it was absolutely inspiring to see, like, yeah, it's possible, and it's becoming more popular even. So it's going to be easier for us coming afterwards, to create something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I'd never heard of Gal before that, but then it's like, wow, she's a badass.
I know, right? It's so cool.
I don't know if this is true, but like one of the people I interviewed told me that like he was actually from where she's from, told me that she actually helped train the troops like in the army
Really?
on fighting. So she's like a legit badass if that's true. I could just be spreading
That-
rumors and all that fun stuff.
I can
but
totally picture her doing that. That
Yeah.
seems like her.
That was actually a really good role. Actually, I'd have to say that's probably one of the best DC movies that have come out in a
Hmm.
long time. We'll see.
Oh
I
yeah.
I almost think Captain Marvel is Marvel's answer to Wonder Woman, so we'll have to see how that
Hmm.
turns out. See if
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
any cool stunts.
I'm always looking for a cool stunt, so I will definitely be watching that film.
Right on, right on. So you also do a Wild West show.
Right?
Where is that at?
Sweden, actually. So it's a neighbor country to Norway. So, and it's so funny to be living in America, but having to go to Sweden to do Wild West.
I was just gonna ask if it was a American Wild West or if it was like a Sweden Wild West, if there was something different. But it's an American Wild West in Sweden, huh?
Yes, exactly. So it's pretty cool. It's a theme park, and it's for kids mostly, or people who are in love with the Wild West culture, of course. And Yeah, so they have a lot of different like buildings and old, Wild West cities and streets, and then they have a Lucky Luke show
A
with
what
the
show?
Dalton brothers. Lucky Luke.
Lucky
It's
Luke?
a cartoon. I think it's a French cartoon. It's a cowboy uh, who's very lucky all the time. It's very popular over in Europe, so I think that's why they have
Okay.
him there. But but I was in the Wild West stunt show, and the director writes the script every year with the different characters, and it happens on a street in some town, and it's of course the bandits coming to rob them and how it goes.
Please tell me sometime in the Wild West show there's a line, "This town ain't big enough for the two of us," or
Of
something
course.
along those. It has to be there for a Wild West show.
Of course it does. It's a mandatory, right?
Exactly, exactly. It wouldn't be
Mhm.
it wouldn't be complete without it.
Of course, but it's so true.
So
That's why
what
it's so
character do you play in the Wild West show?
I was one of the bandits, and I was Laura Bullion, and it's fun because they take real names from the Wild West, like Annie Oakley and Black Bart. Yeah, I don't remember all, but so
Like
they use
Calamity
authentic
Jane and stuff
people.
like that.
Yeah, Sundance Kid, and Billy the Kid, and so they actually use real characters, but they just put them into a bit of a different situation depending on the script. Yeah, it's cool. So it's all shooting revolvers all day and falling off houses and riding horses and being dragged in the sand by horses. Different stuff. A lot of fun.
Different stuff.
Some
Just
acting
a
too.
normal day at the office, getting dragged across a field by a horse.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So you go from playing the Wild West character in Sweden, and when you're actually in the Wild West, you did something for Halloween that was pretty cool. Something with WB. What was your Halloween thing?
Oh, that was so much fun. It was Horror Made Here. It's a very new horror event that Warner Brothers is hosting, and it's kind of part of the studio tour that they have there. But they also put up different mazes and stuff like that, like The Conjuring, Arkham Asylum, The Exorcist, Crystal Lake. So it's all based from their films, of course. So just went to the audition, and they were like, "You're gonna be a witch," and I was like, "Okay." And then you just go around and scare the casting director.
Do you have a good witch's laugh?
Yeah, I think so.
There you go. There you go.
No, something like that. But that was more the comedic one, I think, because I'm a bit too happy now.
You gotta
Be too
channel
evil.
that. You gotta channel that
Channel it.
witchiness.
You gotta channel
Stand
it.
around a cauldron for a few hours, like chanting
Exactly.
spells. You're a method actor.
Yeah, gotta be right. No, but it's so fun because in the different mazes, because they put me in a lot of different places, because they were like, "Yeah, we can use you here and here and here." So I was a lot in the Conjuring house, and for people who have seen that film, it's pretty freaky. I don't really watch horror films because I like not to be scared of the dark. But to play a character, that was okay though, because then I got to be the scary one, so it was so much fun. And I think the guests really liked it too, because they were so freaked out sometimes. They just fell to the ground
Right, very cool.
from being scared. So yeah.
It's been
No,
it's
it's
been a
fun.
while since I've been to like a good haunted house or haunted maze. So
Right?
like
Mm.
that'd be something fun to do.
Yeah, I think so. And this one is a bit different because it's made for less people at the time, so you don't just like pace through and try to get out as fast as possible like every other maze. You actually get a guided tour, and they talk about the house and stuff, and then scary stuff happens in there. So it's more like personal. So it
Okay.
gets extra freaky, I think, for the guests because they feel like they can't really like move on until like it's okay, and they get just so much stuff happening.
That's
So
kind of
yeah,
cool. So is a
yeah,
tour guide kind of like incorporated into the haunted house, like, or is he just
yep,
like straight up tour
absolutely.
guide, or like does he
I
like play a role, or
Yeah,
she?
usually they play roles. So sometimes they're like those people who have the sixth sense and they see like dead people and stuff, and then they go into houses and try to like fix it.
Mediums.
Mediums, thank you. I've been in Norway too long now, so all the words are slipping out of my head and
It's all
flying
right.
away.
Your English is a lot better than my Norwegian, I'll tell you that.
Oh, they're so funny. Yeah, but yeah, so they can play mediums and stuff like that, or just priests or priestess. In the Arkham Asylum, you have like I think it's more you can walk around yourself, and then you just see all the characters from the Batman universe. So that's more like on your own. So it's still different. So that's why it's fun. It's
Yeah.
nothing is the same, and then you have the Crystal Lake and Freddy Krueger and yeah, Jason up there, and then you just walk around in like the jungle part of the Warner Brothers spot, and you're pretty much on your own outside, and then serial killers come and scare you. So I think it's pretty freaky.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be actually pretty
Mm,
awesome. I'll have to get down to LA maybe and check that out.
mhm.
Are you doing that again
Yeah,
this year?
hopefully I will. I'm absolutely going to the audition for sure, so I hope they will pick me again.
All right, I hope so too. Maybe I'll be
Thank you.
wandering through and you can scare the crap out of me or something.
Oh, I will.
All right. So, what advice would you say that you have for people who are looking to get into either doing stunt work or acting work?
Hmm. Well, I think the most important thing is to be uh, very positive and kind to everybody you meet, because it takes you so far. If you're always nice to people, they will be nice to you back, and if they're not nice to you, then just be even nicer.
The whole kill 'em with
uh,
kindness thing.
exactly. No, I really mean it, because and you come so far with it, and I have gotten so many jobs because people think like, oh, you're so nice, I like you, let's work together, and that really gets you in
You
door.
know, that sounds really simple,
It
but I've
is.
actually heard a lot of people say that, like basically
Hmm.
be nice or at least don't be a dick,
Hmm.
and it will get you a long way. Obviously, you need talent, but
Of
nobody
course,
wants to
yeah.
work with somebody that they can't get along with.
That's true. That is true. And that's why you should also always practice your craft. So if you're acting, you should take classes and work on your acting skills. And when you do stunts, you should go and find a place to train with people who know what they're doing. Like me, I go to Stunts in Motion still with the teachers I have there, because I can always learn something new, and it's always good to work on your basics as well. So it's just good to keep practicing, so you're always fresh and ready. So if you get an audition, you don't have to panic and think, oh, I have to learn this now because I don't know how to do it. You already know, so you
Yeah.
can be more confident in the audition room.
What is the craziest stunt that you have done? Just like that
What
you can't even
to pick?
believe that you did.
I think it must be a high fall I did from a balcony, and it was like into the crowd, like the audience. So they were just right there, and my pad was like in the middle, and I was just hoping that nobody put their stuff on my pad. so I would land on it. So that was a bit crazy because it wasn't as controlled as, a film set environment or something like that. And it was 8 feet, so not too high, but still like a decent height to fall. I think in the middle of a lot of people who gets a bit shocked when there's somebody fell. There.
Is there kind of like a coveted stunt or like the holy grail of stunts that, like one day I will get this stunt?
Oh yeah, I have one.
What is that stunt?
I would love, this is going to be in one of my scripts in the future after this one is going to be a success, right? So then next time.
Yes, of course.
Of course. I want to hang underneath a small plane by my hands. So it takes off and I'm hanging there. And then I want to let go and drop into like a barn or something.
Like, would it require a parachute or would it...
Free fall, so 50 meters. I don't know. That's
a free fall. Okay, 50 meters. That's like 55 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's over 150 feet.
Yeah, that's my dream. And then into a barn or something. Of course, that it needs to be rigged for this stunt, but so it's gonna look like super dramatic.
That'd be pretty awesome. I have to admit.
Right. Yeah, and I would love to have like some glass or something because my favorite stunts are always with glass because I think it's so beautiful when it breaks and splashes like water, kind of.
Yeah.
And it looks so dramatic. So yeah, I have to combine it somehow. Like maybe it's going to be like a...
fall through the roof of like a greenhouse.
Greenhouse, yes. Thank you. You're good with words. And I keep forgetting.
It's all right. I'm here to help.
Thank you. It's so nice. Should have a dictionary here, but you're better, so that's perfect.
I try. Don't ask me any Norwegian words because
I'll try not to.
How do you say this in Norwegian? I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. So, as an actress and stunt woman, what are you doing to promote yourself, either to casting directors or to the public?
Well, I have my own webpage as a stunt woman, at least. So I try to put it out there, of course, so people can find it. And then I have business cards, and I try to connect with people more personally, of course, going to events and meeting people. I think that's very important because this industry is all about the people you know, actually. And I think that goes for a lot of industries, but especially the show business, I think. So it's good to be out there and meet and greet people. I think it's hard because it's not very Norwegian to go out and promote yourself. You're very supposed to stay at home and be humble and not think you're better than anybody.
I was watching something. I don't know if it was with Anthony Bourdain, but I'm trying to think of the name of the restaurant. But it's like supposed one of the world's top restaurants, and he's talking like it's kind of like hard to do this because a lot of times Norwegian people will want to put you back in check, and you're supposed to be kind of just one of the people, right? Is that kind of the attitude that is in Norway? Like you don't want to be the show off. You want to it's better to blend in than to stick out.
Exactly. We even have a written rule called the Jante rules, which says that you shouldn't think you're better than anybody. You shouldn't stand out. And it's like a lot of rules like that, and it sucks. But it's only written for fun, because that's actually like the culture somehow is like that. So it's very different to come to America and be like, look at me, look how good I am at this, and then I get so uncomfortable.
Yeah. It does it feel like foreign to you to have to promote yourself then?
Yes, it does. But I still think wherever you are in whichever country, when you're doing acting and stunts, you do have to promote yourself because you do have to chase the jobs. So people have to know about you.
Very interesting. So it does feel weird for you, like when you have to like step out of like your Janta rule. I probably slaughtered that. I told you you're better at Norwegian than I am. But have to step out of that rule and be the person sticking out. So, like, what is it that pushes you through to do that? No, just knowing you have to promote yourself, or has it become more comfortable to you?
Not really. It's just I try to do it in a more humble way, maybe.
Okay.
So it doesn't get so uncomfortable for me. But so I just put on some good acting, pretend I'm super comfortable with it.
There you go. There you go. That's
There you go. So
one of the benefits of being an actress, acting like you're
oh
comfortable.
yeah, fake it till you make it, right?
There you go. There you go. All right. So that's important, though, being able to fake it till you make it sometimes, or at least until you're
Mhm.
comfortable with it so you can make it. And
Mm.
now, like, what would you say would be a highlight or two that you've had along your acting slash stunt career?
Mm. Yeah, I think for the acting, I think actually one commercial I did in LA, and it was with actually a Norwegian crew who came to LA to film because they needed some summer,
Okay, yeah.
and it was winter in Norway when they were filming. And it was a barbecue commercial, and I was working with a very famous actor, and he was actually directing it, and his name is Axel Hennie, and he was playing in the Martian and a lot of like Hollywood films, and it was so fun to be directed by him, and I felt like I learned so much during those days, and that commercial was actually awarded, no, not awarded, nominated now in Norway for commercial awards like the Oscars or Golden Globe but in
Okay.
Norway for commercials it's actually a pretty big deal for our little country. So that was really fun to have been a part of creating something that meant like people loved it so much it was nominated. And it's a commercial. People hate commercials, right?
Yeah, yeah, typically.
So
Typically, yes.
yeah.
Occasionally there's the one that's funny or something like that. What was the commercial for?
It was for a grocery store. Like they were selling barbecue food because it's very popular to barbecue during the summer in Norway. So it was a really fun twist about it. So it was really fun to be filming it and to see it when it was out. So yeah, that was
Very
cool.
cool. Very cool. So,
I think my stunt highlight was a film I did with Antonio CC, and it's called Bloody Luck. And I was doing some cool stunts in it, and it was my first glass stunt, and that's how I got hooked. And I kicked into a glass table that we constructed so it would break perfectly. And I thought it was so cool, just flying into the glass. And after that, I was like, this is gonna be my life forever. I love it so much. And it was it was fun because that film was premiered in the Cannes Film Festival in France. So it was like also like a little success stories, and it was really really fun because it was one of the first things that we did together as well, and that it was so successful right away. So it gave me hope for the future.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So that's where you got your love for crashing through glass at, huh?
Absolutely. I have a little scar to remember it by on my elbow. It was hilarious. So one of the takes I fall and then I accidentally put my elbow out a little bit, so I got cut in my
Oh.
elbow. And Antonio was filming this, and then he kind of fell with me on the floor. So he was doing some stunts too, even though he was filming. And then he sees the cut and he was like, "Oh wow, our makeup artist is so great. That cut looks so real." And I was laughing. I was like, "No, I actually cut myself." He's like, "What? No, no, no. Like the one on your elbow. It looks so good." I was like, "Yeah, I did cut myself." But it's okay. We just wrapped it up and then I did it again after that.
Was
So
that
it was
prop
nothing.
glass?
We used tempered glass, actually. We wanted to use the sugar glass one, but we figured that it was going to be better with the tempered glass. It needed to break in a bit different way. Bigger pieces, actually, for the camera. But yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, sounds like it. And like now that you've got the breaking glass addiction, do you ever just walk down the street and be like, "Oh, that window looks like it'd be fun to jump through"?
Yeah, I do. Actually. It's so bad.
You do?
And sometimes I tell my friends, and they're like, "You're just crazy. Why would you think that?" I'm like, "Don't you see it? It's so cool."
That's a lot of glass. I could just fly through there so easily.
And then it's slow motion too, though.
Yeah. And with Hollywood, it happened like 4 times. Like, so you break from a different angle. So you break from another angle with an explosion.
I like how you're thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And then I had that all playing through my mind that whole time. So my mind works like that. It's weird sometimes.
It does. That's perfect.
Well, thank you. Now, with the highlights, what was like one major obstacle that you had to overcome in order to get into where you are today?
Oh, I think the biggest obstacle was when I was done with the acting school, and I had a bachelor, and then you do learn a little bit about the industry in acting school, but you don't understand how much of a struggle it is to land a job. So it was really hard to just be on your own. You don't have a schedule or any place really to go every day, and you have to just create your own every day, because people, they have 9 to 5 jobs, right? You go to your job, and then you come home, and then you have your hobby or whatever. But when you do acting or stunts as a freelancer, your day is not scheduled out, and sometimes you don't know what to do for a couple of weeks or months sometimes. So just to figure out how to land the jobs and make it happen regularly, that was a very big obstacle to get over.
Yeah.
But as soon as you kind of crack that code that you have to keep busy, even though you're not working one day, you're working because you're looking for your next job, or you're working on your demo reel or resume or something like that.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense right there. Like going from the structured environment of a school where you're going, okay, you have to be here at 2:30 every day or something like that for glass breaking class or something like that so you don't cut your elbow. You go from having that structure to being like, okay, you're free, go find something, and you don't have that normal 9 to 5 to go to every day, so you kind of have to forge your own way and hold yourself accountable. Correct? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Yeah, that is really good advice, and something that a lot of people should have in mind as they are looking to take that next step.
Absolutely.
Even though you're not working, being paid for it, you need to be working, seeking it.
Also.
Yeah. This could be an interesting question for you, or an interesting answer to this question. When somebody comes and sees you perform, whether it's your play in the snow while you're sword fighting and doing stunts, or one of your other stunt gigs or acting gigs, what is it that you want them to take away and remember about your performance?
Oh, I want them to think it looks absolutely terrifying. Like in this show I'm doing right now, I get dragged after a horse, and they tie out my hands, and then they drag me around, and I crash into a tree, and a little bit like stuff like that. And I just want them to feel the pain that my character is going through, even though I'm not feeling any pain because I'm protected and it's okay, but that they can feel how terrifying this is.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. No, but I want to wow people and make them go, oh my God, that looks so painful.
I hear you. I hear you. And there's that feeling. I think I get what you're saying. Like if
Mm,
you're watching a show, and this is a little bit different, but kind of the same, and somebody's being
hmm
tortured, and it shows them like shoving like things underneath their fingernails to torture them. You
mm,
feel that pain. You're like, ah, that
yeah,
kind of hurts. So when you're being dragged
exactly.
by the horse and hit that tree, like people are like, oh god, that getting hit by a tree or
Mm,
getting dragged by a horse and pulled into a tree, that would really hurt a little bit, make them cringe a little bit.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I hope that it's gonna get a little effect on people.
You basically
Mm,
just want to make people cringe. I see how it is.
yeah, that or laugh.
Cringe or laugh. All right, that's
Cringe
that
or laugh.
that's
My two favorites.
respectable. Yeah. So you actually get pulled into a tree through the. Are you getting dragged through the snow into a tree by a horse? Is that how it is?
Yeah, so it's like I get dragged across the stage and then they go around and there's a couple of trees there. And in the turn I roll a little bit so I can like hit the tree with my back and then I roll the other way so it looks like I really get crashed into it. But it's just me
Okay.
rolling. But yeah, so I think it's a pretty cool effect because they're supposed to torture my character, so it's looks a bit nasty.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And just being dragged through the snow could be kind of fun, but it also could like result in snow in places you don't want it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The neck. Always.
Yeah.
Lots of snow in there.
Oh
Very
yeah. Oh yeah.
cold.
That's always fun.
That's just part of the job.
Yeah, yeah. You'll warm up. Cold's temporary.
Yeah. No. So true.
So Rainhill, it's been great talking to you today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's been a blast. Too bad I don't have a glass shattering sound effect right now, or else I just hit that over and over again. But never know. Maybe by the time this comes out, I'll have something. But
I like
I
that.
have one final question for you. Before I get to
hmm
that question, where can people find you online? What's your corner of the internet?
Well, my webpage is www.rainhill.biz, and I'm on Instagram. My name is Ragnhild with the CO at the end instead of the regular spelling because it was taken.
Okay.
So there you can find me. I'm not much of a Twitter person, so it's all on Instagram.
All right, fair enough. Well, I'll include those in the show notes for the show so people can get a hold of you there. And
Perfect. Thank you.
yeah, of course, of course. I do have that one final question for you
hmm
before I let you out of here today, though.
Sure, sure.
All right, Rainhild Bjoerge, how do you live
hmm
uncontained?
I live every day as it's my last, pretty much. You gotta have some fun and laugh.
All right, sounds good. Live every day as your last, looking for windows to jump through.
Exactly. And if you find one, then go for it.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to shatter it.
Exactly.
All right. So I have that one final thing for you to do, and that is sign off the show. Will you do me the honor of signing off the show tonight?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Ragnhild Bjorge, and I live uncontained.
And that does it for another episode of Uncontained. Thank you for listening, and thank you to Rainhill for joining me, along with a big thank you to Antonio CT for helping hook this interview up. If you enjoyed this interview, please share it with a friend. Hit that subscribe button in whatever podcast player you are listening to the show in right now. It definitely helps other people find out about the show, and yeah, the word of mouth is actually very powerful. You don't know the power that you contain just by telling a friend to listen. Yes, enough of the self-promotion. I need to practice the Jenta law of Norway, and just combine it with Buddhism or something. I don't know. I have more shows lined up for you that I know you will enjoy, so hit that magic subscribe button. But until then, please live uncontained.